Hi, I'm Vera and I'm a food addict. And I'm a member of GreySheet because I weigh and measure 3 meals a day and eat them off the GreySheet food plan, and I don't eat no matter what in between. I write them down and I call them into my sponsor. I'm happy to do all of that because I love and need the structure that GreySheet gives me. I'd like to spend a little bit of time today talking about my opinion about why I believe that a diet does not work and why I find GreySheet is more than a food plan. It is a way of living. And that as a food addict, a diet, only the food is just not enough. Not enough for me. I have, just to give you a very quick experience, strength, and hope vignette on this idea. When I was younger, or basically until I came into GreySheet, which was now almost 2 years ago in February 2015, I think. It's now 2017, so yeah, 2 years ago almost. I had done my own food plan. Wouldn't, earlier on, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I would have called it a diet. It was an intention to lose weight until I could get the goal weight that I wanted, and then I could try to go back to eating the way I was, but not as much, so that I could maintain that goal weight. And that was my intent for those years. And it never worked, not even once. I would lose the weight, but my story has always been that I go back and regain. I'm very good at losing, but I'm also very good at restarting. I did not know how to basically moderate. That I always knew that it was easier to not have anything than to have just a little bit of something. And so I would have nothing and then try the little bit of something and always go back to eating again, and did the cyclical yo-yo diet, gaining more weight each time over the years. About 10 years ago, I realized, because I work in the field of addiction, and it just clued into me one day, this is a problem not with my willpower, but there's an addictive thing happening, and it's sugar. So I stopped sugar 10 years ago, and with pretty much have not picked up since then. And then about 5 years ago, I heard about a 12-step program that said no flour, and I thought, okay, I'll try that. And I tried that. So I also did not eat flour, and that was really helpful. But what ended up happening was, even though I didn't eat sugar and flour and felt better for that, I still ate like healthy foods, but inappropriately, and like fat, and couldn't control that. I heard about 12-step programs, OA and FA, but they didn't appeal to me because, first of all, in OA, I didn't like what people had. It wasn't attractive to me. And in FA, there were some foods that they ate that I found were too triggering for me. I found that there were some grains that just weren't working for me. So I wasn't attracted to either of those programs, and then stumbled across GreySheet maybe 3 years ago. Thought that it was a little extreme to do no sugar, no flour, no grains. But finally, 2 years ago, I thought I'd give it a try. And you see, until then, everything was a food plan and no program. So even though in the last 5 to 10 years I haven't slipped back, I was still obsessing. And I mean, it was better than it was before because I had taken a lot of the major addictive pieces out of my food. But I was still obsessing and still struggling with my behaviors. What I liked about GreySheet, and in the time that I've been in GreySheet, where I have to call into my sponsor, I have to write it down, I don't make decisions about my food anymore, is that there's the introduction of a whole lifestyle around it. And that made all the difference, because now it's out of my hands. So I get to enjoy the food, but I don't have to make decisions where there is so much slippery slope business. I would, in the past, before I did anything, always do really well until I had a little bit, and then that little bit always ended up becoming a binge. And then the binge would make me feel so awful about myself. How can you feel good about yourself sticking your head in a garbage can that's not even your garbage? That just disgusted me to the point where I wouldn't actually look head front at my behavior. And then when I got onto the sort of moderate plan that worked for me a long time, moderate meaning no sugar, no flour, but no activities around it, lifestyle management, basically trigger management around it. Like I said, I was just so miserable all the time by being obsessed by food. Now, today, what it's like now is, as I said, I enjoy my food. I don't think about it anymore, and it gives me the freedom to think about other things. I get to think entirely about other goals, things that are not about food, and it feels like a real liberation. What would have felt like deprivation and rigorous, ridiculous behavior now feels like I let the horses run loose in the corral. The horses are my creativity, my energy, my intelligence. All those things can just be bursting full of energy, but they're corralled and they do not go in this self-destructive form because all that stuff went into the food, and now it doesn't. So that's all I have. I'm Vera. I'm a food addict in recovery thanks to GreySheet.